When women speak of healing, that's code for emotional damage caused by giving themselves to too many men. Making a wife of such a woman, a man invites, in a spiritual sense, the presence of all those other men into the marriage. That's why the Bible warns men against joining themselves to a harlot, for two shall be one flesh. Now, it is a sin for a man to have sex outside of marriage, though the Bible does allow for a man to have multiple wives. And no, I'm not making a case for multiple wives. It is important, though, to understand, since it clearly shows men and women are fundamentally different, even at a spiritual level. Most of the patriarchs in the Old Testament practiced polygyny, and it was even written into the law on how to do it properly. At the time the New Testament was written, it was still a common practice, and yet Paul only prohibited polygyny for men in church leadership, not all men. Sex affects men and women differently, emotionally, psychologically, and yes, spiritually. Men can have multiple wives, but women can't have multiple husbands. Why was Jesus born of a virgin? Because just as a woman receives the man physically, she also takes on part of the man spiritually. That's the key here. It's why the biblical definition of adultery is a married woman having sex outside of marriage. The only way a man can commit adultery is by sleeping with another man's wife. If a man slept with a virgin, she became his responsibility and he had to marry her, even if he already had a wife. If he slept with a harlot, it was a sin he had to make atonement for, but it wasn't adultery. Now again, this isn't the case for polygyny. It does, however, make clear that women take on the spiritual nature of the man or men she has sex with. Read Proverbs 5-7. The man who fornicates is described as weak and on a path of destruction. The woman who has sex outside of marriage is said to be evil. This is because sexual sin for a man is weakness in his flesh. Sexual sin for a woman is spiritual rebellion. They're not the same thing. When a man allows a promiscuous woman in his life, she brings spiritual darkness with her.